here, this idea that no one can predict the future, but we can create maps of emerging landscapes. And we do this to develop breakthrough innovations, and create transformative change. So that's just a synopsis of that quote there. And I do want to point out this image here is actually from one of our SCAN clubs. One of my colleagues, who is also a trained artist, took some visual notes while we were talking about the signals around affordable housing. So we have this really cool artifact, visual artifact that she created while the conversations were happening. So I always point out to those who are not perhaps in foresight, where we are, what SCAN Club or Horizon Scanning, what part of the project of a foresight project, what part of the foresight project are we in? And to let them know that these conversations are essentially it's the research. This is I always say the rigorous but fun research of foresight. And it doesn't stop there. We don't just have these conversations, but then they go into trends. Then we'll do driver mapping and scenarios, etc. And some folks from the SCAN Club will kind of follow us along. If there's opportunities. Some people will just do SCAN Club and just do the horizon scanning. So then I get into talking about, what is a horizon scan? So it's really about detecting early signals of change, with the emphasis on early, not the changes that are, right in our faces and large scale, but really getting down. I always say it's about what is just bubbling up right now. Another colleague of mine said, looking for signals is like, finding that indie band before it's playing in the stadium. And I think that really helped some folks in our SCAN Club as well. It also requires a diversity of perspectives. Yes, I can do horizon scanning on my own, but it's going to be, right away it's going to be biased. But if we have a diversity of perspectives, and so this is where with Georgian College, we were able to get young students and faculty all working together. So learning from each other. And the algorithms of the really young people are very different from my algorithms when I'm searching Google, and they're coming up with some very cool stuff. And likewise, we did have one SCAN Club where I think the youngest person was 19 and the oldest person was in their 70s. I would love to get people in the 80s and 90s and beyond, and younger as well. But I was pleased that we did have one that had quite a large age range. And it's also a skill, I tell folks, it's a skill that requires practice. And this is why we come back for typically 6 weeks in a row, once a week. So there's that practice that's built in. I have never done horizon scanning in a one-off workshop, not to say I wouldn't, but I really see the value and keep coming back to it. And then I typically present a signal of change. This is sort of one of my favorites. It's a bit of a go-to because it kind of gets people interested and excited. So this is a signal that is from our Futures of Social Isolation Among Older Adults. And so the signal here that I found, is a little bit older now, is that Kim Kardashian had started an adaptive collection. So this is adaptive underwear for customers with limited mobility. So the signal is not adaptive underwear. That's been around. I'm sure you could get that at any point. Perhaps it was sort of a specialty medical store or something like that. But the signal here is that Kim Kardashian sees value in this. And Kim Kardashian is a pop icon. And she's all about things that are cool and sexy. And so this idea that something like adaptive underwear for people with limited mobility, and this can often be the case for people who are older, that it could be cool, it could be interesting. So perhaps there's a shift in, certainly an economic opportunity for Kim Kardashian, but perhaps also a value change in how we see mobility issues, or what we expect from our clothing. What is it, you have to suffer for fashion, but maybe that's changing.